Today is the day we crown the champion of Bruce's last bastion. We've had many different competitors challenge Bruce over the multiple months that he's been around, but only 4 have made it to this pristine honour. Minwano, Khan, Salty Assault, and Electro Terra Abyssus. These 4, technically 5, hybrids have made it this far, but now will face their final tests, and only one will win. Matchup 1. Minwano versus Khan. 2 tough mosasaurs with very high chances of success. But there's one category in particular that separates these two and lets us distinguish the winner. And it mainly boils down to Minwano. See, Minwano has had various factors of the hybrid tested throughout each round. First it was defense, then it was offense, and now the factor that determines this fight is speed. Minwano, being a mosasaur, is already quite built for fast maneuvers. Combining that with other contributors like the sailfish and the shortfin mako means he gets pretty quick. I mean, neither of them get as quick as Bruce, but you don't necessarily need to be faster than him. Just enough to keep pace with him and prevent him from engaging in his standard tactics that many sharks engage in. But there is one small factor with this that sort of changes things with Minwano, and that is his use of the Trinidadian guppy for its fast reaction times. First of all, not only would that not even work on a much larger animal, but this was designed to be Minwano's entire fighting strategy, centered around this tiny fish, basically waiting for Bruce to charge at him, only to avoid the attack and counterattack. This would simply not work, due to the fact that the Trinidadian guppy's reaction speeds mainly works due to its size. It is very small. Trying to scale up to this size would be impossible. Bruce would easily be able to charge in and catch Minwano before he could dodge out of the way. And even if he did, Bruce could still turn around and chomp him before he has a chance to counterattack. Meanwhile, Khan doesn't suffer that problem. He's made incredibly fast thanks to his already existing Prognathodon base, as well as other contributors like the Basilosaurus providing a sleeker body, and Sailfish again for even more speed, making Khan a formidable opponent that is able to keep up with Bruce and keep the pressure on him. Because of his much better speed with more efficient contributor usage, contributing for the speed, Khan moves on to the finals. Matchup 2. The Salty Assault versus Electro Terra Abyssus. This match is, surprisingly, given how deep we are in this tournament, it's going to be fairly quick because there's quite an obvious winner. The Salty Assault, given the fact that they are a speedy duo that can work well with each other and keep the pressure on both Bruce and Chuck, make them a formidable duo. Meanwhile, Electro Terra Abyssus may have more methods of attack, but the majority of methods of attack that he has don't work outside of his main jaws. His spines likely won't do too much to Bruce or Chuck, and there's always the risk of him stinging himself. His crocodilian immune system may not be enough to protect from the cone snail venom. His tail, while useful against schools of fish, won't be as useful in trying to stun something like a giant shark or mosasaur. His shocks won't work thanks to his Arapaima scales, and his coiling tactics also won't work due to how he's built, and the fact that this sort of coil method isn't exactly going to make him very fast or maneuverable, given how Titanoboas are much more methodical killers rather than quick wrappers. So Electroterra Abyssus may be better protected than both the Salty Assault, but they can rely on their speed and agility to evade hits. Electroterra doesn't have this speed or agility, and with only his jaws for weapons, which can be fairly easily avoided by either of them, It means that Electroterra Abyssus is in for a much harder time when it comes to winning the fight. So, because of multiple different factors, and the fact that the weapons they have, while more limited than Electroterra, their weapons work. So because of that, Salty Assault are moving on to the finals. Here we are, the grand final. Khan versus the Salty Assault. A match that is extremely close, but that's to be expected because this is the finals. Both of them are highly intelligent, highly fast, and highly deadly with their weapons. Whilst Khan may be the overall more powerful of the two, and the more intelligent due to the use of bottlenose dolphin instead of the pilot whale, the Salty Assault are able to make up for the damage and their intelligence thanks to their teamwork skills and their still efficient weapons, while also maintaining a higher speed than Khan. This is an extremely close fight to decide on, but nevertheless, we need a winner, and we have one. Ladies and gentlemen, your winners for Bruce's Last Bastion is... drumroll please. The Salty Assault. Just like Goji Center's last 16, this tournament could have gone a variety of different ways. We could have gotten multiple different winners if the bracket was arranged differently. But nevertheless, it was arranged in a way that would hopefully give us the most deserving winner. And it definitely did. But to everyone who has competed in the tournament, even if you didn't make it past round 1, pat yourselves on the back. It takes a lot of hard work to design a hybrid, let alone one that is functional, that can perform its task, while not getting hanked. Deccan and Carabidis easily stand the best chance at taking out the Sea Dragon Warriors. But can they take down the Sea Dragon Warriors? Stay tuned to find out in tomorrow's episode of Bruce's Battles. But before we end, it's time to go over the little prizes that the creator of the Salty Assault have won. The first one being a secret that will be unveiled in the next episode. The second one being ownership of one of my earliest hybrids. One of my first videos on the channel was of Leppy, my submission to take on Vex in the Indo-Pacific Ocean. Unfortunately, looking back, Leppy had a few issues. A relatively small billfish designed to be faster than Vex, with incredibly potent toxins, since that would kill her quickly, as well as even the ability to go onto land for the short periods of time. Even when I made Leppy, I wasn't fully confident. I was like, I don't think this is gonna work. But then once Vex's weaknesses started showing, I thought, maybe Leppy stands a bit more of a chance than I thought. But even then I still wasn't fully happy with her performance, so I swapped her out for my main aquatic hybrid, being the much more successful Bruce. So I'm giving the creator of the Salty Assault a chance to improve Leppy. I have a full video on her. It's my second video ever on my channel, which will detail her genome, which you can definitely tell was more of a first attempt for an aquatic hybrid. It was kind of not really the best, but I've definitely seen worse than the aquatic hybrid war. I'd like them to try and improve Leppy's genome while staying true to what makes her unique, being a speedy billfish with toxic traits that can also go onto land for short periods of time. So, now moving on to the third prize. I've already drawn quite a few people's hybrids, but the prize for this one is they can get me to draw any hybrid that they want, and I can't say anything about it. So they have an opportunity to select a hybrid, whether it's an existing one or an entirely new one they've made. I can draw it for them. So congratulations to the creator of the Salty Assault, as well as Deccan and Carabidis themselves, and I look forward to seeing how they will perform against the Sea Dragon Warriors, which we'll find out in the next episode. Oh, also, requests for challengers to face Bruce are open once again, so if you haven't challenged Bruce yet, will be waiting for your challengers.